What's up, folks? It's Dave Wood. I'm talking to you from my non-home office, actually, in Costa Rica, in Escazú. I know you guys are, of course, used to seeing me in the mountains. I've since moved to a different mountain, closer to the city, actually. It's really nice. This is within if you guys saw my video I made yesterday, this is actually within like a 3 or a 4 minute drive to everything fun in the city in Costa Rica. It's like 40 minutes away from the beach, so anytime I want to pop down, get in the car, go sink my toes in the hot sand, I can just jump in the car and head down to the beach. So really is cool. And today I wanted to actually share a specific strategy with you, and I wanted to keep it relatively short because I tend to talk for like 8 hours. I wanted to talk to you about a series of things over the course of the next 9 or 10 days when I'm going to be doing these videos essentially by myself. And then in 9 or 10 days, David Sharp's coming down. I'm going to have a series of interviews with David Sharp, our CEO, Jonathan Cronstead, who came over from Digital Marketer. A lot of you guys will be getting to know him over the course of the next month and 2 months as we're really reframing a lot of our marketing to just convert better, get more sales, and of course, get y'all a lot more money with less work, which is ultimately the goal of selling stuff, right? So I'm going to go through over the course of like the next 5 or 10 days a series of actionable steps that you can take to make more money in your business and really, really, really do it the right way. Now, here's what I mean by the right way. I mean to make money the way that you want. See, a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of ways to get money when you're out there on the internet. There's a lot of ways to get money in business, and you can do it in a way that you really is attractive. And you can also do it in a way that's not attractive. You can do it in a way that, quite frankly, is horrible. I mean, I know people that all they do is work. They get up in the morning, they work, they go to sleep, they're working, and they never take time off. They never spend time with their family. All they do is work. They're in one business, then they're in the next business. And it's important when you're designing your life that you decide how it is you want your life to actually be, right? Do you really want to work all day and night forever? A year or two is fine. 6 months is fine. But there has to be a stop to doing bullshit all the time. There has to be. And so when I'm talking about designing your life, I want you to keep in mind what you want your life to be like and also what you're not going to be willing to do over time. For example, when I started my business in 2009, I decided in 2009, I mean, this is like before I even started, I would not do three-way calls ever. Right now, I've slipped a few times. I've backslid, as the Christians would say, where I've fallen back on my own commandments to myself, and I've done, I think, 2 or 3 three-way calls, and each time regretted it. But I decided I was not going to do three-way calls, no matter who called me and how bigwig the person was on the phone. I just wasn't going to do it, because if I do it, it's setting an example that leads to my life being a disaster no matter how much money I'm making. I just don't like to do it, right? And so I want you to decide how you want your life to be. For me, I want to be able to make lots of money and do nothing at the same time. And if I want to work, I want it to be because I'm adding to my empire, not because I'm maintaining it. Does that make sense? So I'm going to talk about goal setting today. And when you're getting clear on your goals, I want you to include that in there, how you want your life to really be and why you're really doing this. Because I'm guessing it's not just for money, okay? And I'm going to give you some actionable steps. I'm actually going to refer you to some products that I want you to listen to as well if you're in Empower Network. And if you're not, it's okay. You can do it the hard way. I thought that was funny, Jamie. I just say it. Jamie's the guy holding the camera here. All right, so here's how to set goals, and here's how I do it in a way that's super effective. I'm going to give you, I think it's a 6-step formula. I actually have got 7-step formula, that I actually follow myself. And this is what I do. I just have to look at it because I had to map it out for my brain. And it starts with setting an intention or setting an outcome, okay, which we talk about all the time. A lot of people, especially when they get into like an internet business, are really fuzzy and unclear about the direction they're going and really about why they're doing it. They start doing it because they're scared of something. It's like, I'm afraid of losing my job, so how can I make money? They go on the internet, they say how to make money, and they run across some schemy ass video with actors and shit that don't really make money. They just hire copywriters and actors to go and pretend that they do. And they run across something like that, or they get involved in network marketing, or maybe their friend pitches them in a hotel room and then they get in some deal selling soap and vitamins, and then they're like, I'm sick talking to my friends and family, and they go online saying, I hate talking to my friends and family, and they run into Mike Dillard's ebook or so, something like like that, but they don't really know why they're doing it, okay? And so step one in really accomplishing great outcomes in your business online is setting an intention that's so clear that if you read it to a small child that understands basic numbers, so give them, 5 years, 6 years old, they would understand it and get a perfectly clear image in their mind of what the hell you're talking about, okay? A clear intention. Okay. Now, in the 15K formula in the first webinar, we actually go through a formula for setting clear intentions there, right? Now, the second step is, the first step is setting an intention. The second step is making sure your intention is written in a way, your goal is written in a way, and you must write your goals. Look, I can't tell you how many people told me in my life, you got to write your goals. You got to write your goals. You know how long it took me to actually start writing my goals really clear? Like 8 years of listening to old, bald, fat guys telling me you must write your goals. And then finally one day I was like, I should really write my goals down. And that was in 2009. And 2009, 3 months after getting really clear, like I'm going to describe in this video, I had a week where I made more than $25,000, which was actually more than I had ever made in 5 months. Okay, actually that's more than I'd ever made in 6 months. I made in a week, 3 months after doing what I'm describing in this video. And I'm going to give you some assignments to get ultra clear as we do that. So step one, set an outcome. Step two, make it crystal clear so you can read it to a child, okay? And they get a crystal clear image in their mind of what it is you're talking about. Now here's step three, and this is actually something I just covered in a lot of detail in our Blog Beast Academy, which is now renamed to our Viral Blog Academy. We're doing it in Power Network, and this is really important. You need to make a list of every resource you have available to you, okay, that can help you accomplish your goals. Everything that you've got. Sometimes people get in business and all they're focused on is where they're hurting or what they don't have. Oh, I don't have a big list yet. It's like, oh, come on. You've got other things available. When I started, I didn't have a big list either. Okay, so what do you have available to you, right? For example, you might have a burning desire. That's a resource. You might know somebody who's rich online who can teach you what to do. That's a resource. You might be involved in Empower Network or have purchased the blog. You might have a blog available to you. That's a resource. You might have the ability to work 2 hours a day. That's a resource. You might know some stuff about selling. It's a resource, right? I want you to make a list of what you have available now that can help you in the accomplishment and the attainment of whatever it is that your outcome is, okay? What do you have available to you now? And be really, really, really detailed. I have a story about this I'm going to share in a second. Next step, which I think is step 4, and I may be skipping around here, is I want you to make a list of everything that you don't have available to you yet, but that if you did have, okay, it would dramatically speed up the attainment of your goals and your outcomes. Now, this is a really interesting one because I actually was taught this from a personal coach who I was paying $500 an hour to do coaching for me. And he told me to do that. He said, some people think about this as like negative thinking when I bring it up. However, he says, what happens is when you make a list of everything you don't have yet, your unconscious mind automatically starts filtering to find those things that you don't have yet. Yet is the operative word there. Towards the accomplishment of your goals, right? So make a list of everything you don't have yet that if you did have, and this is where you could like have a dream list, oh God, I wish I could have $10,000 a month to just dump into solo ads, or, I wish that, I lived in a big fancy house like Dave Wood, or I wish I had a nice or I need a camera, right? Well, you'll come up with some things that you can find. I did this exercise 3 months before launching Empower Network. I was having a hard time starting the company. I'd come up with the idea on my own. I was working on it towards my own. And one of the things I made a list of is I needed somebody who was an amazing implementer to make a lot of things happen, right? Well, I put that on a list of resources, and then it was like about a month later, I started having conversations with Dave Sharp, and then Dave Sharp and I had partnered up, and that partnership, that unity resulted in 2 years in over $71 million in sales and over $1.5 million a week in sales now. I actually believe by next year we'll be doing $1.5 million a day in sales. I'm excited for that, and we got a plan for that. We'll talk to you guys, of course, when you buy, if you're not in. Here's the next step, though, that you got to start doing. This is what I call constructing like a meta strategy in your business, okay? A lot of people start, and the reason why they're confused on what they should do is because there is no perfect plan for everyone. Guys, look, I could pretend I can give you a total turnkey business. Empower Network, I'll tell you, for affiliates here, is as turnkey as exists, okay? You can get in, you could kind of turn a key, put your gas in the foot, but you still got to steer the car. You know what I'm saying? I can give you as close to turnkey as exists, but it still requires a plan that you have to implement that vehicle. You have to have the plan and the map on where you're going to drive the car, even if you got the best car in the world. And if you don't have that map, and if it's not clear, you're going to have a hard time. So what a meta strategy is, and I explain this a lot in the Viral Blogging Academy we're doing right now, a meta strategy is like a big picture strategy. What are all the various parts that you need operating in your business in order to reach your outcome? And you want to make it focused and only towards reaching your outcome. Don't make your plan all over the place. I'm going to do this and this and this. You don't want to do everything. Trust me. You want to make money and have a fun life, right? And it's what you want to do. So meta strategy, all the big picture parts, right? And then you want to develop a micro strategy, which is filling in all those parts with actionable steps that you need to take now to get the money that you want in your business. That's how to construct a strategy. And that takes some time. It takes a few days. You know, when I started my business online in 2009, it took me a week after I'd learned some skills to sit down with a notebook and construct a strategy. And by the end of a week, I had notes and a plan that was like this thick. Okay, that was that detailed on what I was going to do and how I was going to do it. And the plan was specifically towards my outcome on how to hit $30,000 a month within 90 days. Now, here's the thing. I look back at that years later. I don't actually have it now. I lost it in a move. But I look back at it was like a year later or something like that. And I had accomplished everything in like that 30 or 40 or 50 page plan that I'd set out, because it was so clear. I mean, there was no room for fucking it up. I just had to do it, right? And so that is, guys, how to construct a strategy. You start from an outcome and an intention first. This mistake most people make. They don't start there, right? We teach you that in the 15K formula here. If you don't have it, buy it, okay? If you don't have it, buy it. That's my Jedi mind powers commanding you now by the power of the Jedi to pull out your credit card and buy. That's where most people make the mistake. They make a mistake by not setting a clear outcome before they start. So I hope that helps. Tomorrow we're going to come back with a couple of actionable steps to start producing your outcome in the physical world. And we're going to move into bringing some people down here in a couple of weeks who really make lots and lots and lots of money. And we're going to show you how to build an empire. If that's what you want, we'll show you how to make $5,000 a month if you want. But if you're not in, join, obviously. Get to our event in Miami, guys. We're going to meet you there. We've got some very cool announcements coming up in Miami that you're just going to miss if you're not there. It's okay if you don't love your family enough to go. I still love you. And we'll see you on the beaches of the world. Peace.